collection is one issue, but waste disposal is a bigger problem. How do you handle it?
See, the thing is, if you manage waste, as we've been talking just now, where you straight away knock off 90% of waste, then you have just 10% of waste to dispose in a landfill. Yeah? And then you, of course, the solid waste management rules talks about a sanitary landfill, which is supposed to have all the precautions in terms of a proper system in place to ensure that the disposal does not, the waste which is disposed in a landfill does not leach and enter our groundwater. So the disposal will be so much easier and so much more, it will be a good system if we can only not put everything into disposal. Yeah? Because you have enough of solutions for 90% of
So if you segregate at the source,
correct,
then it becomes easier. That's
if
what
you segregate and if you retrieve the recyclables and if you compost your organic waste, these three simple things which you can do at every house, at every apartment, and then just give 10% of waste to the municipal corporation for disposal.
That's good. Vilma, I believe there are not many or not enough landfills. Many a time garbage is dumped on vacant grounds. How does Sahas handle this, along with BBMP, I mean?
Yes, so that's, we don't need so many landfills. If we would not, we would not need to put so much, if we don't have to put so much of waste into a landfill, then we don't need so many landfills. And currently, the municipal corporation as well as the Karnataka Pollution Control Board has identified Mavalipura and other places as landfill sites. But those landfill sites are going to get filled up so very fast if we are going to put all our waste into it. So we have to be selective in what we put into the landfill.
People should start thinking about
Yes.
that, thinking about their city.
Yes, how far are you? And people are living around those landfills. So is it really fair that, people who live around a landfill, and these landfill spaces are very beautiful sites, villages are there. Is it fair that they should bear the brunt of our ignorance and our indifference?
Vilma, is it true that there is a strong garbage lobby which has an unholy nexus with BBMP officials that is stopping you from proceeding faster?
See, I really don't believe, I mean, there may be, and at this point of time, I don't need to comment on that. There may be, but if a lot of things lie within our control, in the hands of the people. I mean, you and I are generators. Households are generators. Companies are generators. The source of the waste is from a generator, and the generator can manage his waste. So, whatever may be the nexus, if you can do things which are in your control, then you don't have to be a part of that nexus.
So no use blaming others.
Definitely not.
Blame yourself.
Yes.
That's interesting. Vilma, use of plastic bags is a big problem in Bangalore. No amount of awareness or warnings has helped. How does Sahas propose to deal with this?
Again, government has given us a rule which says, first of all, the plastic should be of a certain thickness. 20 microns, and now it's even 40 microns that they have proposed, and that is the rule. We've seen that supermarkets have converted and are now giving these thicker bags for which they have to pay additionally. So it's becoming an added cost for them.
Are these bags biodegradable?
They're not biodegradable, but because they're thicker, it is easier to recycle. So they have a better, what you call, scrap value for it.
Isn't it time, Vilma, that biodegradable bags, they should make compulsory these biodegradable bags?
See, it would be better if people, anything, even a biodegradable bag will ultimately have to be disposed or recycled. Yeah? So you're adding to the burden on the waste management system. So it is always the first R in waste management is reduce. Yeah? So the best solution really would be for each of us to carry our own shopping bag when we go shopping.
So you are saying instead of cure, try to prevent.
Try to prevent
Prevention is better than
Just
cure.
carry your own shopping bag, and the government has said pay for plastic, and people again are resisting this, this thing of carrying your own shopping bag. Just carry your own shopping bag.
Vilma, I believe you recruit staff from the lower strata of society, including rag pickers. How do you train them?
Yeah, training is
You can elaborate on it.
Actually, it is waste is a good livelihood option, and that is really the winning the winner that waste is, because not only do you get incomes from waste and you can make products out of waste, you can also look at it as a livelihood option. And people who can work with waste are actually very skilled with their hands. They may not be of high academic, they may not have very high educational qualifications, but they have their skills. They have the patience to be able to segregate waste and to actually work with waste day in and day out. Yeah, there is a certain training component that is required, because they need to understand the different waste streams. They need to understand how, how waste has to be segregated. They need to be disciplined a little bit into timings, into wearing of protective equipment, that is the PPEs, personal protective equipment, to wear shoes, to wear gloves, to wear masks. This becomes, in fact, the most difficult part of our training program, because very often there is this resistance, they're not used to wearing it. But then we insist. We have fines sometimes for our staff that do not wear it regularly. Also in terms of their discipline on time, etc., we have put in place certain processes to ensure that they have a certain work ethic and a work discipline. It is a difficult process, but people are willing to come forward. People are willing to work with waste, and we do recruit people. We also have minimum benefits for them in terms of provident fund, in terms of health insurances. We do provide that, and this is what is appreciated by our staff. But for that, we need to have better revenues. Yeah? And again, we come back to that thing of people need to understand that waste alone cannot help us run our services.
Vilma, you also have initiated a packaging program which you touched upon a little earlier with the help of scrap dealers and waste pickers. Can you throw a little more light on it?
Yeah, this is a collection of packaging materials in the form of waste Tetra Pak. So we have gone to a lot of scrap dealers across Bangalore, even the waste pickers, scrap dealers, and introduced them to the fact that Tetra Pak can be now recycled. They should keep it separately. We have also helped some of them understand how to bale it, compact it, store it, and then we work with them to collect this material and take it for recycling.
So apart from asking citizens to segregate these things, you are asking the scrap dealer also to segregate that.
The scrap dealer is our backup, because when people, not everybody segregates. I mean, we still have a very small percentage of residents, responsible residents, that segregate. So therefore, the scrap dealers finally, they get a lot of mixed waste, and many of them work even with our dump sites and retrieve the waste from our dump sites. So that material, instead of lying in a dump site or getting burnt, as it very often happens, scrap dealers and waste pickers do us the service of retrieving the material from these dump sites and putting it into recycling.
How many rag pickers are working with us now in Bangalore?
Well, we have 60 field staff in all our locations. This is our own staff that work in all our project sites. In addition to that, we work with almost about 1,000 waste pickers across Bangalore, waste pickers, scrap dealers, etc. The network is really quite extensive.
Have you also trained them in e-waste recycling?
Yes, we have a program with the what we call the small scale entrepreneurs. These were recyclers who were formerly with the informal sector and who did not have very much knowledge on e-waste recycling, but were doing it anyway. Now, rather than just ignore them and say that you cannot work with e-waste at all, through our partnership with other organizations, including the German-based GIZ, we had a training program for them to train them in the dismantling of e-waste and to actually have now centers where they can do this in a better way. They have fulfilled all the requirements of the Pollution Control Board, and they have now become authorized e-waste recyclers.